point of winning a World Series. So I think for sure, I think that's always been kind of what I've wanted to do, is help the team in any sort of way. And, I felt like I made it pretty known in spring training with our coaches that I just want to win. I don't care what I do. I just want to win. And they understand that. And, so this move to the bullpen, it has freed me up a lot. And I feel like that's kind of where I belong, and I never thought that I would get to that point and saying that, just from a starting standpoint, but, it has. And so, like I said, I say that it's freed me up, but it has, I feel like I can be who I want to be down there, in the sense of how I envision myself as a pitcher, how I envision myself as helping our team win. So, yeah.
But you and I both know that, I'm not going to single anybody out. I don't think there's people like that on this team, but there's a lot of players through the years who would be taken out of the starting role, and they would battle it. They wouldn't accept it. So.
Yeah, that's tough. I think, I can't speak for those guys,
sure.
And I can't speak for those people because who knows what's going on behind those closed doors. So, but I know that I can control what I think and how I feel and my emotions and my mental attitude going forward every day. So, I feel like that's how I approach it.
But there was a stage of your career that you were a reliever, but I think Walt Weiss sensed this guy's a starter and made you a starter.
Yeah.
So,
well, that
the career.
Right. Well, I think so. Yes, and I had a talk with him personally, and I felt like I was doing myself injustice by relieving because I didn't feel like that was the best thing for me to help our team. And I think that it could have been perceived differently, who knows, outside of our clubhouse. But for me personally, I felt like I was not in the right mental stage of my career to handle that. I didn't feel like that's how I thought as a pitcher. And so, like I said, I think moving to the bullpen allows me to be a little bit more creative. And that's kind of just how my mind's working right now. And it's hard to go out there for me and do that from 87 to 90, and try and really get creative. But that's how my mind's working right now. And so, like I said, I'm accepting it. I'm very happy with it, and I'm happy we're winning.
One of the things
you accepted it before last year, but it sounds like you're embracing it more now.
Well, yeah. I think because I feel like that there's so much to be learned about pitching in general that I feel like I want to be a student and learn, not just about starting, not just about the bullpen, but from every facet of the game, from the role that Wade learned, and how he approaches games and how he, approaches hitters today. And also talking with Oberg and Ottavino last year, and it's countless of the number of guys that I talked to at Shaw about just like different ideas and bouncing and theories about how to pitch and the way to generate power the right way versus how somebody does it or somebody else does it, and then really just trying to compile all that information into what's best for me, and then start spinning those ideas and theories back out at people to figure out more information,
You're going to be 30 on Friday, so I guess it's time to come to grips with this maturity,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
One of the things Buddy talked about, particularly with you, because he says the velocity uptick is so much when you go to the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
The fact you're only going through the lineup once, at most probably, unless something really bad happens, I guess,
Right.
that it gives you a lot more freedom to be more aggressive.
Oh, for sure.
And to just challenge.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's kind of where my mentality is now is either get to strike one aggressively or steal it, and then how can I get creative to either induce a bad swing or get a strikeout. And it's funny, I was talking with a couple of our players and some of our coaches today, and it was like, I had 9 opportunities to get a strikeout and I didn't get one, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you got 9 outs, but it's just funny how I feel like my mind has switched so fast to wanting to get strikeouts and being creative. But at the same time, I had a long talk yesterday or the day before with Wade about inducing and creating bad swings or poor swings, and I felt like today was some of that talk coming into play.
But he's saying, I mean, you can be as aggressive as you want now because you're not worried about the next time the guy comes up. And
I
you
have
aggressive
more to empty in the tank, and I think, who knows where that'll go, but I think at this point, 92 to 95 or whatever I was today, that's how I feel like I'm making some good strides.
I think the other thing that too was aggressive in your pitch selection. That you don't have to worry about what pitch you show him in that at bat.
Right. Yeah, and that's that kind of gets back to figuring out when to throw what pitch when you have 4, and do you still strike one with a curveball or do you attack him with a heater, or and kind of going back and forth with that. So. Like I said, I have a lot to learn from these guys that have been successful down there for a very long time. So
Wade's one of those 4-pitch guys too, right?
Yeah, he is.
Without asking for intelligence, what did you mean when you said you talked to Davis and Oberg and they talked? One of the things you mentioned was feet on the ground.
Connected with
It's just being connected with the ground. A little bit of that, but also just from a mechanical standpoint of how you're generating power correctly and how efficient your body is moving. And when I moved to the bullpen after the San Fran start, I felt like I was trying to dig in as fast as I could, and then really I felt like 5 days had went by and I started kind of clicking in some of my dry work drills, and then it was like, okay, now I kind of need to get into a game at some point to figure out how this is really transitioning. Is it only going to be 2 or is it going to be 5? And so like I said, I think there's still a lot to be learned down there. There's still a lot to be learned in the sense of being connected with the ground and from a power standpoint, and how efficient my body's moving. But I think that these 2 outings here have been a really good first step for me.
It sounds like this is exciting for you.
It is,
And not that it wasn't exciting before, but
right. Well, and that's I think it's just the newness of it, the ability to learn so much more about it, and for the time being, and really just trying to dig back in from where I left off of last year when I was in the bullpen.
I wanted to ask about that connected with the ground here.